Good afternoon, weirdos. It is I Haunted. Today we're going to be working on our Mysterio chicken, our weird science project, our what the heck do we call these things? I keep forgetting the words that are supposed to be there. But anyways, we're going to be working on this chicken that has a mind control helmet on his head. We started on him a little bit last week. Wow, words are difficult for me today. So yeah, we're going to continue working on him, and hopefully we will not have any of that. We've got the lagging issue fixed. That was all good. So anyways, here we go. I'm going to do a little bit of silver real quick because that's what I feel like doing right this minute. Get some of that done up here on the head here. Well, those little feet flex a lot. I'll probably have to touch up some of this when I'm doing some of the dry brushing around his face, but that's okay. I just feel like hitting this first for the moment. A happy little mind control helmet. That's what we're painting. I feel like that little globe needs to be a glowy blue, maybe. Can't remember. Is it on the box that way? Oh, there it is. It is a glowy yellow. I don't know if y'all can see that right there on the side, but it's a glowy yellow. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So yeah, we may do it that way, or we may just do it blue. I kind of want to keep the continuity, so we'll probably do it blue. These have been some of my favorite little projects so far, mainly because they're relatively quick, but they just have so much character. I just love these test subjects. That was the word I was looking for earlier. Test subjects. Yes, I remembered. Swiss cheese brain remembered. So I also before stream got in a little bit of work on Jakuna now. So all I have left is her little toad or frog or whatever, and the lily pad flowers. I got all the lily pads painted up and the bamboo painted up. So all we got to do is the flowers and her little frog on the umbrella, and she'll be done. Excited about that one. That has been on my hurry up and finish it list forever. Because I didn't want to, I get these. I'm a little AD, and I get a project started because my brain tells me to do it, and then I'm on the next project before that one gets finished. So that Jakuna project has been haunting me. So I'm wanting to get it done and finished. Anyways. I'm not getting too accurate around the edges here because I have a feeling I'll have to repaint them from the dry brushing on the wings anyways. But I kind of want to cut that in a little bit so we see what we're working with. This past weekend, there was a tournament down at Gigabytes for Malifaux, which I went down to do. I ended up not actually running in the tourney because I hadn't had enough experience with the game to tourney. But there's a player there he was just out for a good game, a friendly game, and he wasn't really into the competition either. So he was like, "Well, I hear you've never actually finished an entire game, but you've only gotten like to turn 4, but never into turn 4." He said, "Why don't we just not do the tournament and play a full game?" And I was like, "Hey, that works for me." So we played a game. I actually scored 6 versus his 7, which is my highest score ever, probably because I actually got some extra turns in. But I was paying a lot more attention to strats and schemes. This go around, even though I was playing a new crew, I was trying to actually work on scoring. Had a lot of fun with that, and I was down there. I was like, I'm only an hour, or not an hour, about 15 minutes away from where I used to live, and there was a fantastic little sushi place there. They did sushi and like Thai/Chinese food, called Thai Basil's Inn, and I used to go there like every day for lunch because they had a lunch special for $7.95 or $8.95. You got 2 sushi rolls. One was spicy tuna, one was a California roll, and soup and salad for that price, and it was a fantastic deal. So I went there all the time, and I thought, well, I've been away about 5 years. I don't know what it tastes like, but let's go try it. So talked Llama into going, and it was still good. I was so happy. So if you're ever in the Marietta, Ackworth area and you want some decent Chinese or sushi, just head up on Cobb Parkway to Sushi's Inn, Thai Basil Sushi's Inn. Okay, so I am not going to mess with these up here because they catch too much of the brush, but I figure I can avoid most of the other ones pretty well. Let's see here. I think we did burnt red, and we did Calvary brown. I think we did Calvary brown. Let us get my other 2 orangey colors out, and let's work on the feet. If I can find them. There's one of them. There's the other. And where's that third one? There we go. All right. Under construction. Hey, how are you doing? Welcome in. What is going on, my friend? Hey, Stig, how are you doing? I answered you back on that question you sent me in DM, and I hadn't heard back from you. So, would let me know what is up with it. Just working and working. Oh, okay, gotcha. That makes sense. All right. I think I got a little brush cleaner still in that brush. Hold on 1 second. All right. All right. So this is Vallejo orange brown, and we'll come in here, work on the feet a little bit with it. They're here on it or the model. I can't tell. It's on the model. I see it now. So we're basically just painting the little ridges on these feet, which kind of hard to get to. They're very tiny. as is the case with most Vallejo miniatures. You need a set of good magnifying glasses, unless you have like perfect vision. You lucky dogs, you. It closes either late tonight or tomorrow morning. Oh, okay, very cool. I've got to hurry up and get my pledge in on that other terrain one. The natural terrain bits and stuff. It's got a whole bunch of like broken bottles, and they're like the jug style, like what you'd expect to see in a old southern or bayou stuff, which is perfect. It's got bones and cacti and all sorts of cool stuff in it. So I've already got a bunch of terrain, natural flow items, like 300 or 400 plus designs, and this is going to be like another 300 or 400 plus designs. So we'll be able to do a lot more cool basing projects in the future. They unlock their Rum Shack stretch goal. Ooh, nice. Very cool. Okay, that's the first highlight color there. And then we'll come in with that lighter orange and touch a few more on top there. Let's get a sip here. Oh, that was my cat under my feet. It was my paper towel bag. Whoops. And this is a little bit of scruffless brown mixed with some lava orange. Hello, kitty cat. Captain Sneezy Pants has made an appearance. Not with his usual sneezing, though. He opened up with a meow. Very strange indeed. Normally he comes in with a chain sneeze. Not today, he says. I wanted to do something different. Because cat reasons. So we're just kind of dragging this across each of the knuckles that we can get to on the top. And that's basically all we do with this color. So the feetsies need claws. And I kind of want to do them black, but at the same time, if I do that black, they probably won't show up on the basing. So I'm going to do them a cream color, kind of like a natural claw or fingernail look. And I haven't seen any chickens up close for their little claws to know what color they are naturally, but I think an ivory bone color will be fine. Which is funny, I'm from the chicken capital of the world. You would think I'd know what a chicken claw would look like, but most of the time I see them, they're just in those trucks heading out to the processing plant. So don't really get a good look at them. guess I could have probably done them. I could have even done them steel if I really wanted to. You know, like they'd been steel covered, like his wings and stuff. But yeah, we'll leave the feet alone. Leave them naturals. Ooh, Adepticon. Always wanted to go. Just, so peoply. Well, I've heard that it's like if you can go to one a year, that's probably the one to go to. That or I guess Gen Con. Those two are probably your big ones. If you can make one con, make it to one of those two. Like, I mean, I live just an hour from one of the big cons, Dragon Con. You know, it's just an hour down the street, but I have never been just because it's so crowded. Like, I think last year was 175, 185,000 attendees. Mm-mm. No. Oh, dear God. Who is binging my phone? You went once in 2004. It's too big for me then. Nope. Yeah. And it's only like in exponentially increased. So, yeah. I agree. That's a whole lot of note for me, too. Maybe if I took like half a dozen Xanax, I might could go. Maybe. Of course, I'd probably stop breathing, but, you know, I could go. That's a joke, folks. Don't do drugs. Not even prescribed drugs like that. They do have smaller cons, so Nova's good. One for gaming, but Dragon Con is definitely not a convention for gaming. Oh yeah, most definitely not. Unless you're into like D&D. If you're into RPGs, you can get a lot of RPG in there. In fact, I had almost 1 year I thought about going as a DM for Adventure League because you can get a weekend pass if you volunteer. I think it was 15 or 20 hours RPGing, which is not that hard to do over 3 days, and still get some actual con time in. And I came very close to doing that because I figured most of the time I would be D&Ding, which I can handle because of small group size. Where the hell did I put my towels? There they are. And then I could go peruse a little bit at my pace afterwards and not feel like I've lost a lot of money if I didn't do much because, you know, it's paid for. But I never got around to it. Things never seem to line up, conflicts of schedules and stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to try and support this baby because we're hitting it kind of hard with this dry brush, and I don't want to knock her off her feet. Can't tell. That is so smooth there. I'm wondering if that's supposed to be metal. And her little chicken butt ends right here. I think it is. I didn't go quite high enough on the metal. Remember we talked about the metal went all the way up to the knee joint? We didn't quite go high enough, so we'll have to come back and hit that a little bit more. Now, luckily, this one's got, a lot of really high raised detail, and it can pretty much just be dry brush. You still have to worry about getting chalky, but because it's so small, the details are relatively high. You don't have to worry near as much about the chalkiness. If it were a little bit larger or the details were a bit more shallow, you might want to try the damp brush dry technique, which kind of sounds like an oxymoron. But you basically dampen it on a little bit of water, and it helps control that the texture that you get with dry brushing. Okay. Now we're going to come in with a little bit of rinse our brush a little bit. Oops. We're just going to drop our brush in our water. That's part of the plan, folks. Don't worry. Get a quick clean real quick. We'll move to the next lighter color. And this is going to be that scruffless brown color. There, that we may pick out a few tiny details with a little bit of that cream color, because some of these I don't know if they're called bantams or what, the orangey brown chickens, they have kind of like a cream texture to some of the outer feathering. So I'm just kind of trying to catch that crest right there. Same here. That feather there. That feather is resisting. Okay. And then we will pick out a little bit of that cream stuff, I think. The creamy feathers, if I can see where we can put some without overwhelming things. Looks like it's mostly on the tail feather, which we really don't have a whole lot of tail feathers. See here. Probably need my good brush for this one. Really need a good brush, I think. Are you good at a brush? Wait, what? Really? Fantastic. Can you tell us what the show is, or do we have to wait and try and catch it? Like spot the hidden Easter egg. Young Wallander. I don't even think that one's on my radar. I'll have to check that one out. So we're just coming in here with a little bit of that earlier Scruffless Brown mix with the a little bit of lava orange in it, and we're just going to do a few feathers around the rims here of these. At 0150 R models, posters and models. Nice. That is very cool. Maybe that'd do some great things. You know what ET did for D&D, right? That is so cool. Okay, once we get done with this, then we can like start working on the metal proper. a couple of these bottom buttock feathers on her. I still can't figure out what that smooth spot is. I don't know if it's feathers or what, or if it's like metal, like a metal plate of some sort. So we may just kind of fudge it and call it feathers. So what we're doing kind of is a controlled dry brush here, where we're just kind of rubbing the edge of this brush over these key feathers here. So yeah, it's kind of edge highlighting, but it's also kind of a controlled dry brush. Probably not the best thing for your brush. So if you have a older brush or a synthetic brush that has a decent tip, do it with that. I just realized when I was struggling for words with what to call these guys because I'd forgotten what they were called. You had it right there in the subject line. Painting test subjects. Wow. If only I had opened my eyes. Wouldn't have been sitting there struggling for 5 minutes to call them what they were. Let's get some a little bit lighter color up here, top of the head. Strange test. You think? Wait, what? What is that under construction? Oh, what test are they being subjected to? I see, I see, I see, I see. They well obviously have been experimented on. That's what they mean by test subject. Um, this one is more obvious on because he's got the binding collars and stuff on him. But I see what you did there. Okay. Let's see. I think their eyes are black, if I remember right. They don't really have any color, brown or black. Oh, no, amber. Okay. So I'm just all the way over wrong. Really have an amber. Let's just go with a yellow. I think a yellow will be okay. Don't you guys? So the cool thing is most of the colors we pulled out for this chicken we're actually going to be using on the next one, which is the orangutan. So if we finish up with this guy, we'll jump on him tonight. I'm definitely off pace for that though. I'm a little twitchy today. Yeah, I started using this when I started doing my Eugene for Infinity. The recipe that I use the recipe that Angel uses, and it really works out well. I unfortunately do not have my example model out. Um, but yeah, that orange brown, Calvary brown, or what is it? Burnt red, um, Calvary brown. Um, seems like orange brown, scruffless brown. I also throw in a little bit of orange fire with the scruffless brown to bring it kind of to a brighter orange, and then of course your ice yellow. It makes a really rich, um, really rich orange. It's a nice color. Orange is one of those that's kind of hard to capture. So his idea was to go from browns to almost a yellow, and you get that orange in the on the midway of it. Okay, where is me? Black, black, gray, black, black, black. Where are you? Black, 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 black. Here we are. Won't need much of that. Just dotting some I's, crossing some teeth. There we go. He doesn't look horribly surprised, does he? She, I mean, they're kind of on par with where they should be. Okay. Then let's see. Beet color. Beet color. Kind of that tan color. Okay, good, good, good. We can work with that. And we still got to do the little red uh gobbler. I don't know what the hell to call it. I call it a gobbler. Um, with a little red sack of flesh that goes around their face. Or if any of you ever watched the show Ally McBeal, it would be called a waddle. Remember the little Weasley office manager that had a thing for women with waddles? Very strange little dude. Okay, so give that just a second to dry. Let's go ahead and start picking out our reds while that's drying. So we need our Evil Sons, and we need our Wild Rider. I don't really think we need to go to Mephiston because as is, it's pretty dark. So we're going to go with our brighter reds. So we're going to start with Evil Sons. So it doesn't get too drowned out in the dark brown that's on the chicken. Make Bluff, how are you doing? Welcome in. Good to see you, virtually. I am doing good. See here. I think it's basically like around the eyes, kind of on the cheekbones, and then just up underneath that chin is what we have for the gobbler. May end up doing just a little Mephiston just to make sure we get some separation there. Be back in a tick. Forgotten to preface, but lunch too. Oh my goodness. Get on that late lunch. Yeah, we don't need McBluff hangry. I don't know if you're one of those that gets hangry. I do. If I don't eat, I'm not fun to be around. Although the other day I did actually forget to eat lunch myself, which was pretty crazy. Probably a good thing because I've had to go on a steroid pack for a gout flare up, ladies and gentlemen. That is not fun. And I have been ravenous, like eating nonstop. So probably a good thing I did skip a meal the other day. Okay, this is a little bit of the evil or Wild Rider here. I'm going to come in and highlight some of that red a little bit. And we'll probably mix in a little bit of Sunny Skin Tone with it as well for a little final one. Just depends how much definition we need on this red. Okay, where is Sunny Skin Tone? That is Flat Flash. That almost looks like Sunny Skin Tone. I could probably use it. There it is. This is one of those you have to shake the ever-loving mess out of. Especially when you've not used it for a while. Probably needs to actually go on the electric mixer, but I don't have that handy. And it's very loud, so I try not to use it on stream. Okay, so it turns into kind of a creamsicle color when you do it that with that Sunny Flash tone, but in small amounts, it highlights red up pretty well. It doesn't make it pink, which is usually what you end up when you add things to red, you end up making it pink. So it still keeps it in that kind of orange red warm family. Stig. The way you do it every time I hear it. You are a horrible person. Oh my God. I know you go finish reading that out loud. Dang, dude. Mind meet gutter. Ah, goodness gracious. Oh my goodness, Stig. What are we gonna do with you? So you can catch that underbeak there. We're going to get a little bit on the upper beak, but I wanted to make sure we caught the lower one first. A little definition up here at the top. We'll lighten that back up in a second. A couple more hours of sleep per night would be nice. I get weird. I know those feelings, my friend. I do know those feelings. The last couple of nights, I've had a normal amount of sleep, but I haven't slept good. You know, you can sleep, but not sleep soundly. And that's just as bad as not actually sleeping, really. I mean, like your eyes feel okay because they've been shut, but you don't have that fatigue reversal when you don't sleep soundly. You got to have that sound REM sleep. And if you don't get that, it's just like you never slept at all. Okay, so I think we can call face on. Let me try one more little bit of that kind of peachy orange here. Just get a little bit more definition right there in the center. And maybe a little on the throat there. Yeah. Okay. Then we can start working on the other things. Let's get back on. Since we're done with the dry brushing, we can kind of get back to the silver. So let's go back to that. Start working that up, and then we can start working on the glowy bits. So another show I watched the other night when I couldn't sleep due to the aforementioned steroids prescription. I watched this show called In From the Cold, which is kind of like it harkens back to the old 80s sci-fi and spy thrillers combined, but done well. Like, not cheesy, super cheesy. I mean, there's some cheese there, don't get me wrong. That's why it harkens back to the 80s. But it's not super super cheesy. So definitely, if you've got Netflix, pick that one up and watch it. Add it to your queue. Has a hell of a twist at the ending, which those are always fun. I like being caught off guard. At least, show wise. Hey Z, welcome in. How are you? I'm good. Very good. Very good. We are painting a crazy mind control chicken. What are you up to? Doing good. Had a day off because of ice and snow this morning. Yikes. Yikes on ice and snow. Hurrah on the day off. Now, I do believe I got onto the feather with the silver here, so I will have to correct that a little bit. Not horrible. Just a little bit when I was slapping it on quick earlier today. You're getting some frame rate droppage there, or pixelation droppage. So that cut in a little bit. Sorry, you can't really see what I'm doing right now. I'm cutting in the silver from the other side here. Yeah, I've been playing Evil Genius 2. Get that fixed. Base builder meets cheesy 60-70. Original humor was a little more solid. Like scuba divers doing secrets swimming. Oh wow, that's hilarious. I don't think I have ever seen that. Is that a game on Steam? Or can I pick it up on Steam? We can't explain it, but it works on your enemies. Yeah, I love that. Really? Man. Normally it gives you a little bit of a break, like, 4 or 6 months or something like that before it does it again. That's crazy. I wish they would fix that. They keep adding features, but they keep not fixing that one that drives people apeshit. I think they consider it a feature. I really do. I think they think that the joy of having to track down everybody you follow over and over and over again is something people want to do. I can assure them it's not. That original was something like $10, and then the new one released last year is like 40. About 60 with DLC. You picked it up during New Year's sale, $35. Nice. I may wait for. I typically do not pay more than $20 for a game, so I always try and wait for sales. Just because I don't use them enough to justify paying full price. The one exception I've probably spent more time in No Man's Sky than any other game next to Star Wars Galaxy. So that one I probably could have bought at full price, but again, got it for like 19 or something. So now you guys know I normally try and back my silver with black, but on this guy it's too small. I'm just not gonna bother with it. It looks like a Turban Z, but it's actually like a mind control device that controls the chicken's movements, I think. Um, the crocodile, or I keep calling him a crocodile. The alligator has one on top of his head, but it's a little smaller. Well, we're pixelating again. Could we maybe get some camera? Oops. There we go. Yeah. But anyways, he's got one on top of his head. This one actually has those coils shown, but they're inside this globe. So we're just going to do a yellow glow or blue glow on top. There, we won't do the coils like the other one has. But yeah, it mostly looks like kind of like a turban to me. Very refreshing. Hey, Spencer. Or Spence. Sorry. How are you doing? Main thing is, did it help the video quality? Looks like it did. Ooh, where are my tweezers? I've got a hair on that little horn there. I did it on my end. Okay, cool. Glad this helped a little bit. That just pushed the hair down. Okay, finally. I don't know how one hair can be so annoying. Please, just get off the thing I'm trying to paint. Okay. So, weird hobbies. Got any idea when we're going to see our new gaining grounds? Just curious. I know it takes a little time. I basically only got one game in with the new one, so or with current one. So I'm kind of curious when I feel like I'll have a better shot at learning the newer ones than trying to learn the old ones that people have been playing for a year now. Okay, the silver is cut in there. All right, let's get some oil on there. Some known oil. Pull my little wash palette over here. This was a piece that I threw in the floor. It was a piece of resin from one of my last pours that I did on bases, and it works really good for washes because it has a little lip the capillary action of resin. So it holds the wash in there pretty good. Probably could stay and peel some of the other washes off of it though. Where is my non-oil? Where are you? There you are. I was ending turn 2 yesterday when I saw that around. Yeah. Well, I know my buddy Zach was very happy not to see any further transmortis nurse. That was actually the first thing I read was to make sure that Stuck didn't get hit again. I was a little upset with Bocors getting hit so hard, but I haven't had the chance to play him, so not a whole lot of skin off my game, but they got hit pretty hard. I've kind of figured they were going to because they were so well, I'd say, but kind of auto include in a in keyword and with a Zoraida that could be really nasty. So I kind of felt like I knew they were going to get hit. Swine Curse getting pig keyword was a nice change. So Ulix can use them. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to get a little bit right here. Not. That one. So what do you normally play, Spence? What's your faction of choice or master of choice? Or are you one of those jack of all trades that just hits anything? Juggle Neverborn Rezzers. Nice. That's pretty much what I'm doing. I mean, I've really gotten into the Bayou, but as far as the looks, I haven't really played it. I haven't played any with them. Neverborn was what got me in to Malifaux, a core streamer and Lord Chompy Bits. But I've only really played with Rezzers. I played one game with Pandora, and there was just so much to keep up with. I failed horribly with it, so I figured I'd try and work with some of the, more easier to handle masters, and then come back to Pandora later. Dreamer was your entry point. Nice. The funny thing is, the closest I ever came to like really understanding a master and was or like early on was Dreamer, and he's like one of the more uh or what one people most people consider one of the more complex ones because of the summoning. Of course, now that was uh before the changes to summon, so now you have to kind of think about the way you're going to summon things in, um, what models you're going to summon in. Did we forget? We forgot a little bit of silver up here on top. We have to paint that in real quick. Um, but he just seemed to make a little bit more sense to me. I've got his got the new model too now, which seems like he could be fun. He's a little bit more complex, but I got the Insomniac one. Um, so I'm thinking about. I've gone ahead and started basing up all my nightmares. Probably going to try him again with the Insomniac card. Yeah, Neverborn's probably the most common way to get people in because that's where you get your classic monsters from. You know, the things that people want to go bump in the night. Um, I mean, granted, you get your zombies and stuff from Rezzers, which that's another key entry point. But yeah, big monsters is Neverborn, and that's what most people tend to focus in on. The funny thing is, I've always had a thing for anything Asian themed. Yeah, I did not come in with Ten Thunders. So I took the back asswards way in. In fact, I have two Ten Thunder crews. I have the Mayfang Foundry keyword, and I have Last Blossom Masaki keyword. And that's the only two that I have. Which, like I said, I would have thought. I don't know if you can see there's a Asian geisha puzzle over there on the wall. So yeah, everything a fan over there and stuff. So like everything is Asian themed in the house, but only two Asian keywords. All right, so let's give that a second to dry. We'll work on some of our edge highlighting while we're waiting on that. If I can find, there we go, Chrome. This is what I like to use on my silver highlights. It is Model Air Chrome. Very shiny, very bright, very poppy silver. Cool. Building and painting titanium next. Really looking forward to playing the fight. Nice. I am that is one I've been putting off. I am not very good at painting natural lines and curves and stuff like that. And that's basically all titanium is because it's like, like vines and overgrowth are their armor and stuff. So I have been putting that one off hardcore. I mean, even these, I struggle a little bit with like having to pull up references for the chicken feathers and stuff. I'm I guess so many years of painting uh, space soldiers. I'm used to flat panels and edges and nice sharp lines and stuff like that. And there's a lot more natural curves and stuff in titania. So McBluff, what'd you have for lunch? Something good to eat? Okay, I got that edging done. Get the backside of his leg a little bit here. Ham sandwich. I'm gonna be a ham sandwich. Used to work with a guy in a call center he didn't cuss. He was a good little Christian boy. And his way of cussing was saying, I'll be a ham sandwich. Name was Jonathan. So if you're out there, Jonathan, that is still being said in my household. "15 years later." Okie dokie. So get back up there and do a little bit of wash up on the top where I'd forgotten to do the silver before the wash dries out. Okay, here we go. Good. Put a little there on the antennae. Don't need that much there. Yeah, there we go. Much better. I did. I had a turkey club for lunch. So we were kind of thinking the same mindset, right? Had some deli turkey on some sourdough bread with some bacon. Good. All righty. Let's see here. So get our blues. We're going to do some dark Prussian first. Probably really don't need this color. We could probably just go straight to flat blue, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in anyways because that's how I do. Yeah. Sandwiches are not something I fix very often because I don't really like just a plain, bit of sandwich with, or, meat with some cheese and mustard or whatever. I kind of like to go like full on with, the lettuce and tomato and onion and all that slicey dicey and stuff. It takes time. So if I'm on time pressure for lunch, which I normally am, especially on stream days, I tend to go very simple, some leftovers from dinner or something like that. But luckily, I was smart and had everything pre-sliced last night. So today, all I had to do was just slap it together and it was done. man, going for the dad jokes, huh, Stig? So we're going to mix a little bit of that dark Prussian blue with some of this flat blue. A little bit of water. A little more. Here we go. And we're going to just try and get a nice little coverage almost out to the edges of this. Now, if this were just a gem, not lit up from inside, we'd only be doing the lower third or 2/3 of the stone with this color, because for some reason gems light up from the bottom edge and have shadow at the top. At least if you go by the typical method for drawing them. But this is going to be kind of glowing from the inside, so we can go all the way out. This is some flat blue. I think I didn't quite wait long enough. I'm starting to tear the paint. So we're going to back off here in that area and come back around here. The Dreamer sketch? No, I don't think you did. I'm very disappointed. You should post it in my Discord. Okay, so we're just going to kind of come back in with that previous color and kind of blend the two together a bit. The middle color, which was some Prussian and flat blue mixed. Kind of coming in with it a little bit thin. And just kind of painting in between that line to smooth it out. Okay, give that just a second dry while I go ahead and get some more flat blue. And we'll get a little bit of the sky blue out as well, because we're going to be rolling up to that pretty soon. You shared it in the weird Discord, not mine. That's what I see. Yeah, that's why I didn't see it. There's so many notifications in the weird one. I don't read them all. I'm sorry. Made some icicles out of hot glue. Really? How did you just like kind of like, I don't know, glue kind of like in steps up with the glue gun, or did you drip it into cold water? How did you make those up? There's a guy that does Necron models out of hot glue and wire. What is his name? Not Drunk Remembrancer. God, I can't remember his Facebook name, but he does these really complex, crazy, swirly structures with hot glue. Low tip glue gun, dragging along wax paper. Okay, just streaks. Okay, that makes sense. And I've never understood how he can get these impressive shapes and with so much control and so little stringiness. When I deal with the hot glue, I always get the strings everywhere, and they're just like all over the house and wrapping around your legs whenever you move and stuff like that. I hate hot glue. Oh dear God, you guys see what I'm doing? I am using metals with my good brush. Whoops. Not typically something you want to do unless you like wrecking your brushes. That was a boo-boo. I grabbed the wrong brush. From the most recent 28. Wait, what? What do you mean under construction? Sorry. Oh, McBluff. That's really cool. I dig it. I'm glad that you got kind of like the adolescent version of Dreamer. Okay. Where was I? I was doing things with things and forgetting what things I was doing. I think I was painting blue. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Sorry, I'm way off screen. Sorry about that. The artist who sculpts Catan Necrons out of hot glue and wire, they recently had a write-up in 28 magazine. That's it. Thank you. I'm glad you knew who I was talking about. But yeah, he does some really, really incredible stuff. I mean, he's a hell of a painter too, but the sculpting that he does with the materials he does is what just makes them so fascinating. Mail call. You have mail. We're just kind of working our glow back and forth a little bit. I don't think we want to go a whole lot further. Here we go. I think that will be about as far as I need to go. Maybe just a smidge more right here in the small one. Get that thumb eraser in there. It was a little off center. There we go. Okay, now we'll touch up the silver on the helmet, and this one will be done. Please tell me more. Stupid bots. I think I may come in here and paint some of those little ridges there. I may paint those up as wires just to add a little color to this, because this is just like a mass of silver. So I may touch those up a little bit with some coloration. So we're not done yet, but we're in the home stretch, folks. So I mean, that's not like the best glowy effect you can get. We could probably go really crazy if we wanted to, but I'm not taking these guys up to, like 11. They're basically tabletop, and as such, don't want to spend more than a couple hours on it. Okay. So, watching it over a pupper while my dad's out for an hour or so. Fortunately, I think our dog Kenji is getting along just fine. Good. All right. So, we did a blue wire on Gator. So, we'll probably incorporate at least one blue wire for that as well. Well, probably one on each side. So, do it right here, kind of separate those two panels. And we'll do it again on this side. Here. Then what do you think? Maybe a yellow wire? Red, yellow, blue. Get the primaries down. I'm glad to see I'm not the only person that has to worry about pets getting along. At least yours are. Mine, no matter how much I try and integrate him with the others, he was a single cat for so long. He thinks that's the only way it's supposed to be and just refuses to accept the other cats, which is it's kind of a bummer. I know I wouldn't feel as bad about when I leave if he were, had other cats around here. Because when I come back and I come down to work, he's like right on my heels every second for the first hour or two because he's just so happy to have somebody back. So I mean, he gets lonely. I hate that he just can't see that the other cats would be companionship. He just doesn't do it. He's one of those cats that will literally follow me to the door and be waiting at the door when I'm coming back in. Yeah. I think he was a dog in a previous life. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. But what can you do? I mean, you can't change a learned behavior that's there for so long. He was for almost 7 years. He was the only cat. So he's like, that's it. That's the only way it's supposed to be. I should not have these other fur creatures in the house. What in the hell? Where'd that big old plug of hair come from? Okay. I got plastic in my mouth from rinsing my brush out and licking it. Fantastic. Brush licking can be dangerous, folks. Use with caution, especially when you when you're painting with oils. Don't brush lick ever. Bad news. Not that I'm painting with oils, but you have to keep that in mind when you do. The first time or two I did a thing about wearing a mask to keep myself from licking brushes. Looks like there's 3 wires up here. One. That could be a plate. Okay, I think it's just 2 wires then. Okay. I want to make it sure either this one is yellow or red. So I think I'll do yellow here and then red there. Gonna work for a bit, be back soon. Okay. We'll probably be working on the orangutan by the time you get back. That is going to be the next project. Conference call? Okay. All right. Everybody got a jet. And we got just a wee bit of Everland Sunset still on our palette, which is good. Hopefully not too watered down. But I had to make 45 coats. You know what? That is just not going to show up good. Let's do a green wire instead. Yep, that's what we're going to do. That yellow just does not show up against the silver. Use a little Vallejo heavy body black green. It's a very kind of misshapen wire, so it might be hard to cut in regardless. I'm going to come up with a little bit brighter green to, well, a lot brighter green to pop it up. Should hopefully make it stand out as green. We'll see. Doesn't, we'll go straight to moot green. Okay, and then we'll go straight to moot. Okay. I think that will be good enough. I'm going to come back in and do just a little bit of glaze right around this bright spot again. It's just a little bit of a harsh line. We'll see how that looks here in a second when it dries. Other than that, other than a little tinker with that glove, I think we are done with our little chicken warrior. Yeah, I think we're good. So that is done. We have 2 of our test subjects finished now. We have our chicken and our gator. And now we will start on Mr. Orangutan. Let's see here. Let's get him on a base real quick. Super glue. There we go. Is that holding? No, it's not even catching, is it? What in the mess? Okay. Got some accelerant. Sorry, I'm not showing that on screen. Get my accelerant going here. I think that got it. Okay. Hopefully that will hold him well enough. Yeah, he's on there now. Okay. Then we can slip him in our little plinth here, our handle, and get painting. Okay. So first color is going to be a burnt red. Already has some on our palette. We're just going to put a little bit more because we're going to be a lot of surface area here, folks. That is a big orangutan. Now, do we want these knuckles and feet knuckles? Do we want them to be like gold, brass knuckles, or them to be silver like some of the rest of the stuff, or how we want to do that? I figure gold, because that's kind of your typical fare. We can always do something different if you want. You can do them, like black metal if you wanted to. Natural metal. The good thing is this guy's pretty textured too, so we could probably do a lot of dry brushing on him like we did the chicken. And he isn't so fiddly. We can... Really, cat? He just did a nose whistle. I don't know if the mic picked that up or not. This is funny. The noises that come out of that cat. We will be painting his face that kind of dark charcoal gray. It is typical on orangutans. And that's a little too thin. Got too much water in it, but it does spread easier that way. I had to beat my brush up quite so bad to get in the recesses. It's thin, but this brush is already wrecked, so I don't know why I'm bothering. I'm fairly certain that their hands are the same way. Their fingers are that charcoal gray skin. So we'll do the orange brown up to them, but not all the way around. This is the same recipe I did on the Oni. What were they called? Yokai, I think they are, for Asami's crew. Basically the same recipe I did with them. And they turned out pretty good. I liked them with the orange skin rather than the blue skin. It looked... I mean, granted, they're supposed to be demons, so the unnatural colors are normal, but I liked them better looking like actual orangutan. So it was a good call on the client's part when he said he wanted them done that way. Okay, I think there are a few touch-ups. That's about got this color wrapped in there. There a little bit. Got it around his face good. Okay. Once that dries up, we'll start doing the other. There's a little bit there on the toe. Let me get that real quick. Washed my brush way too soon. Okay, now we can let that dry a sec. Some more water, or not water, but tea. While we're waiting for that to dry, I'll show you something real quick. This was an experiment I did on painting yellow. I don't know if you can see that, but that is Molly. And I initially painted her with hex lichen, and then mixed in increasing amounts of warlock purple, and then a little bit of warlock purple and white, or a little bit of white into warlock purple to do her highlights. And then I sprayed her with a thin coat of Uriel yellow, which I think is not that one, this one, and got that with just a little bit of work. I added some flash kits on the wrinkles. Well, actually, I added this glaze here, the Lamenter's yellow, add that glaze, and then some flash kits yellow highlights. And that's how the yellow turned out. So it's really not that bad a little workup. Gives a very vibrant yellow color. I think next time I will go like, thank you, appreciate it. I think next time I will go a little more actually pink. Like I'll start with this color and just add white until it's almost white at the top point, top highlight color. I think that will give an even more vibrant yellow. So we'll try that next time. But it was just an experiment I'd been thinking about. I've heard other people use it to good effect. And I thought, why not? Let's give it a ring. Let's try it out. That brown is still not dry. But yeah, so that's what we did. It turned out pretty good, I think. Appreciate that, Spence. Okay, we're going to put on a little bit of dark gray on the toesies and fingersies. And, well, we'll probably end up having to repaint most of it. But while we're sitting here waiting, I don't want to be just sitting here waiting. So we're going to be painting something that we'll probably end up having to repaint anyways. These toes will probably be fine. They probably won't be affected by the dry brush. This one will. Color theory, yeah. Well, it's funny because purple is a complement of yellow, or yellow is a complement of purple, and when you mix the two together, you get a very dark, almost brown color, which is why it was kind of dull, because I went too close to purple. But that reddish magenta pink purple really pulled it up. So yeah, I was actually ready to strip the model down when I saw how dull it was. I wish I had pictures of showing how dull it was, but it was really kind of a muddy brown. I was not happy with it, and I was like, you know what? Let's just try. I mean, before I can go and wipe it out, let's try a glaze. And I put that Lamenter's yellow on it, and it went bing, and just sung, and I was like, okay, we're good. Now we can just highlight, and that's all we did. It was fine, but it was a little sketch at first. I find myself I get in ruts, and every once in a while I have to do something to kind of break myself out of the rut, and that was mine for this weekend, was trying that. Well, wasn't this weekend, it was well, actually it was Thursday night, so almost this past weekend, because I was trying to get her painted up for the tournament, in case I wanted to take a second master. And here's the thing: Brian, the tournament organizer, he knows I don't play with unpainted miniatures. So he was coming over to the table with a ticket in hand. He had it like in his hand, and he was handing it to me. And then he stopped. He kind of hesitated, and he was like, wait a sec. Whose gray miniature is that on the table? And I was like, it's mine. Because I had decided last minute to switch to Karai 2, and I didn't have a chance to paint her. And he took that ticket back, and he shook his head, and he was like, he's like, I expected better out of you. So, I mean, he was joking, but he did expect to see a fully painted army from me, and normally he would have gotten a fully painted one, but I kind of changed my mind at the last second, and didn't get the master painted. But let me tell you, next tournament, by God, she will be painted. I don't want him shaking his head at me. That was rough. Okay. We are still not drawing that. Ugh. What in the world? That brown is just not drying. It's mostly on the belly where I was painting a little wetter. So we're going to start dry brushing on the back, and maybe by the time we're done with that, the other will be ready. So let me see if I can find my. There it is. When I have the room to do it, this is my favorite dry brush. It's an e.l.f. makeup brush, eyeshadow brush, and it's my favorite for dry brushing large areas. Super, super duper soft. I've been using this for a while. It's held up better than any of the GW or other brushes that are quote, dry brushes. So yeah, that's the one I use. Get a little bit Calvary Brown going. Have a little bit on the palette, but we're going to add some more. And cheap. Yeah, they're only like when I bought this, I don't know what they cost now, but when I bought this, it was like $1.25. You've used those also? Cool. Yeah. I've been using them for quite some time. And I haven't had to replace it. So it's been a really good brush. I do probably clean it better and more often than I do the other brushes, which is funny because they cost more, but this one gets better treatment. See, we're already bringing out that. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but we're already starting to bring that color out. What I'll probably end up doing is actually painting in the last highlight just to make sure it's precise. But the larger highlights we can do with the dry brush. Yeah, they really are. They really are good. Oops. Drag from that wet spot. Dadgummit. Thought that was dry. You know what? We're going to fix this wet paint problem. Nothing a little air can't help, right? Now you do have to worry about this blowing a puddle out and mucking it up a little bit, but the way this guy's pedals are kind of forming, I don't think that's a problem. But yeah, there is one little spot underneath his arm I missed. So I want to use this, so we can fix that here in a second. Okay, that at least fixed the dry paint or wet paint issue. Airbrush comes to save the day again. Yeah, yeah. I would definitely be muting the stream if I had a hair dryer coming. I do use the hair dryer occasionally for like when I'm trying to dry wash on a base, because on a base, you know, you slopped in there pretty good, but if it runs, it's not going to be an issue like it would be if you were on a model, because you know it's terrain. It's not a big deal if it gets a little uneven or sprays in a weird pattern. But on a model, you can wreck it real quick with using a hair dryer, blowing a pool where it doesn't need to be. Not to mention the aforementioned having to mute your stream because loud. So yeah, I try to avoid the hair dryers where I can. As much as I'd like to keep using this, I'm going to have to switch to the smaller pinpoint dry brush here in a moment to get up on the chest of this model. So I'm going to switch over here real quick. I might can use it as is. I don't think I have to clean it. Hopefully not, anyways. A little bit more of that orange brown, or the not orange brown, cavalry brown. Okay. So kind of hard to get into even with this big old, or little bitty brush. Better than it was, I think. Gets the point across. I mean, main thing is kind of get this upper belly here because it really sticks out. And if we can get that left pec area, because it's uncovered, so. Okay. All right. So going to the next color, we're going to pull into a little bit of cavalry brown and some the word orange brown. That's it. Orange brown and cavalry brown. I'll go ahead and paint the areas we just had gotten over first, since we already got this brush going. Getting him pretty hairs did there. Yep, he's getting pretty hair. And after that, we will go to scruff brown by itself, or orange brown by itself. So you see I'm kind of skipping most of the back. I'm just getting like the buttocks here where they're stretched. This little bit of the spine that's kind of popped out, and then we're going to get the shoulders mainly. Shoulders and head here. Because he doesn't really have a neck. He's just got no neck at all. And then, of course, around here on the elbows. Like to get that chin just a little bit better defined, but it's kind of like, nope, I'm not going to do it for you because you want me to. So I'll have to do that with the brush, I guess. All right, so I'm going to give this a quick clean here. And if you don't already have some of these bottles here with the hooked neck, I suggest getting some. I've got some filtered H2O and I've got some distilled H2O in them, and they make it really easy to get water where you need it, and to, like, if you're cleaning your airbrush out, it helps in that regard, because it kind of forces some of the paint out of the back of the cup, so you don't have to do quite as much physical cleaning with it. So it's helpful there. Okay, now we're going to switch to orange brown. And do some more. Now this is mostly going to be brush work, I think, here with this color. Not really going to be doing any or very little dry brush. I mean, we're still kind of doing a dry brush motion, but a little bit more controlled here. So we're catching that kneecap again because, stretched. I want to show that the fur is pulled taut, the light is shining down on it, whatever you want to call it. We're hitting it a little stronger. I'm not going to worry so much about these areas, but we're going to hit these his little toesies here. See if we can get a little more light down on that subject. Because we didn't really hit the toes at all with the dry brush. Okay. So we're going to hit this elbow a little bit just because we want to make these hairs stand out a bit. And a bit more up here on his hand as well. So just a heads up, if I don't finish this guy today, I'll probably finish him off stream because I want to start fresh next week on the Rooster Riders. That's what we'll be working on next week. And then with that, basically all I have left for my keyword will be one survivor and pork chop. That'll be the Rooster Riders, and then those two would be all I have left for my keyword, and the entire keyword will be finished. So I'm excited about that. I promised myself I was going to play at least 10 games with Karai and Resurrectionist, because I feel like, jumping around too much is causing me to not learn the game well, because I never seem to be, I'm always trying to figure out the crew, and not paying attention to the schemes and strats. So I promised myself 10 games with Rezzers and Karai. And then after that, I'm probably going to start trying out some Bayou plays. I dig the models. And I don't think Bayou gets enough love. Although I was surprised at the tournament, there was 2 or 3 Bayou players out of 12 people. So that was pretty kind of crazy. They'd all kind of made a pact to play masters they were not familiar with. All but 2 of the players followed the rules. Everybody, there were 2 others that played what they were used to, and because they're kind of those whack players when it all costs, so they didn't follow the lighthearted theme of playing a master they weren't familiar with. So boo on them. You just bought the Bayou starter pot? Now nice. I got it too. I'm very excited to paint those. Well, I guess I have to consider painting one of those up as part of my crew as well, right? So we got 5 models now. Still, we're in a much better place than we were a couple weeks ago. Yes, please. Okay. I think Eleanor was the first one to paint them up, but I wouldn't mind painting at least the one, for my keyword up. I think it's the naked chicken is the one for my faction or for my keyword for Trixie. Could be wrong, but I think it is. Eleanor and Trent did one this month. Oh, okay. Oh, did one a month. Okay. Yeah, those would probably be a couple streams each. I wouldn't want to do those too fast. I want to do those up really a little bit better than what I've done with these guys. So they got a lot of detail going on with them. Plus, they're fully assembled, so there's no sub assemblies to make it easy to paint some of the inner details. So those are definitely going to be ones that take a little longer. Okay. Well, I think the fur is basically done. I'll get a little bit down here in the ankles, maybe. Okay. Come back in and get that dark gray kind of cut back in because we did lose a little bit of it putting the fur in. Okay. And we definitely lost it on the knuckles where we were dry brushing around that chest so much. So I cut that, come back in and cut those back in. There. Okay. That's okay. We didn't do his face, did we? Herp dirt. It's okay. And there's not a whole lot of face, is it? It's just that upper lip and upward. Yeah, it's got a very, very, very small eye. It's like a big overhang because of the brows. So I don't know if we're going to be doing a whole lot of detail in those eyes. Okay. So we did black gray. We did dark gray. We're going to do some London gray and then some neutral gray. What are we doing on time here? Well, we got 27 minutes. Goodness, we may not finish them, but we're gonna get some more work done for sure. Fantastic. So this is a mix of London gray and dark gray. It's almost London gray, basically, just a tiny bit darker. I think we may actually have to go lighter. So we'll just go straight to London gray. I was afraid it might be a little too light, but I think London gray is fine. If I can get it to come out of the bottle again, there we go. I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm not coming out to play. Mm-mm. Okay. Now, if I really wanted to make that be a little bit more different, I could come in and do some recess shading of black between the toes, and I may still do that just to add a little bit more dimensionality to the feet here. Okay, so we'll come in here. We're going to get this upper lip pretty good here. Almost up to the nose, but not quite. I did this kind of workup on the face of Wanudo as well, kind of making him look like he was made out of, charcoal, burnt charcoal. And then I've seen a couple that were flesh color or very close to flesh color. And I'm really kind of like, I feel like I should redo mine. I feel like the flesh color might be the way to go, or at least a kind of ashy color flesh. But I'm not sure. You got this dude's got match luggage underneath his eyes. I can relate because I have big bags under my eyes. He must have children. All right, we're going to pull in a little bit of neutral gray. This will probably needs to have a little bit of white just to give us a little bit more pop between those two. It's lighter, but it's not enough visual pop, at least on camera. So we're going to add a little bit of white to it to set it further into that high gray. Now, he actually has his toenails sculpted in, so I will probably paint those black just so they stand out a bit better. Give me a little more water on that brush there. It's getting a bit dry. Whoa. Hello, Mr. Cat. What? El gato. What? I can't pay you attention now, sir. Sorry. Wakes up from a nap and starts demanding attention. Typical cat, right? That looks really bright, like he's got a milk mustache, but I think that will settle down once it dries. If it doesn't, we can always tone it back down. That won't be a problem. And I think that'll be okay now that it's dried and toned down a little bit. I come back in just a wee bit with the previous gray. And just a wee bit there. There we go. A little less milk mustache. More highlight. Okay. Go ahead and get our silver blocked in. We got 19 minutes. God, we're gonna be close, guys. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get them finished in 19 minutes. Not with the electrical doodads on his head. But we're gonna get close. Very least, I think we'll be pretty close. Which makes me happy. I like getting well, it was definitely more than one model because we finished one, even though it had a base coat and a single dry brush on it. We finished him up and then started and very close to finishing this one. So almost like doing two models on a stream. Like I said, not super high end quality or anything, but they're very passable, better than what you see on most tables, right? Mal, cat's like, it's nearly 6 o'clock, dude. Your stream needs to be done. Tired of waiting. Pet me now. Okay, get this short pad up here. Again, we have kind of strayed from our paint black first, but we're trying to get it done, so we're skipping a step. Normally, when I paint silver, if you've not been here before, I like to paint it black first. It tends to give a better result because of those little metal flakes in there. They'll reflect the color that's underneath. And if you got a bright color, especially like this bright orange, it looks funny when that kind of shows through the silver at certain angles. So I'm putting it on pretty thick. So hopefully we avoid that since I didn't do the black base coat black. But if it ends up being a problem, I can always come back in and either put another coat of silver down or repaint it later. But we're just trying to get her done. So we're shortcutting today. So I didn't hear anything back earlier when I asked about the knuckles. So I think I'm going to go ahead and paint them like brass knuckles or gold plated brass knuckles, because that just makes more sense to me than doing them silver. Okay. All right. Thank you, Z. Appreciate it. I kind of figured that was the way to go. So we'll start with some Dwarven Gold. This is from Skill 75. Skill 75 work a little different than your regular paints, or take not really different, but they're a little different because they have a gel medium. So they react a little differently, especially to your wet palette. They tend to separate a lot easier, and they get kind of like a milky thing going on. But you can usually reincorporate them. You just have to use them fast or stir them often. I got some of the other colors. They're flat colors for doing non-metallic metals. Because me, non-metallic metal, kind of my gig, except when I'm burnt out, which I am right now. But it's supposedly the colors to do non-metallic gold, non-metallic steel or silver, and then non-metallic copper. So I'm anxious to try those out, and I'm wondering if they'll have the separation issues that the metallics do, because I've not tried any of their flat colors. I've only tried their metallics. So it'd be interesting. A little experiment going on, trying that out. I've been down with the experimentation lately. Yeah, I definitely think this was the right choice, guys. Thank you, Z, for agreeing with me. I gotta tell you, one color I need to pick up, since I am doing some more regular metallics, is I need to pick up the Agrax Earthshade and Seraphim Sepia in gloss, because I don't have a wash for gold metallics that isn't a flat wash, so it tends to dull it out. I made my own when doing Totally Not Thunder Bill Algren, and it's still a little flat, but I mixed some brown wash or brown paint with a little gel or gloss medium, not gel medium, gloss medium. Probably could have said it go a little heavier on the gloss, but it did okay. But I want to get some of the glossy stuff again. Now, one way you can fix that is you can do your gold, you can do your wash, the dull wash. You can do your highlights, and then you can come back in and put a gloss wash over the gold area, and that will kind of fix it. But it's just better if you can do it all in one step, right? So we're getting the damn pixelation again. Heckgummit. Okay. Got the knuckles knocked in. Come back in and do the plasma coils up here real quick. Oops, that would imply they were from that other game. These are electrical coils, not plasma coils. Like I said, I misspoke. Let me pull out my big eyeballs here so I can see this a little bit better. We're getting very close to the wire, so I don't want to spend too much time here. Okay, it looks like I just covered up one too many there. Should have remained silver. I'll probably have to touch up that silver again once I finish with the blue. So we're just going to get it touched up now too. Okay. So we're getting down to the wire. Got about 4-ish minutes. Yep. There is my Willow link that will lead you to all my social media stuff. So if you would like and or follow and or subscribe, that would be fantastic. So the subscribe one, is YouTube because they have to be different. The subscriptions on Twitch are nice too if you ever feel up to it. But anyways, yes, the likes and follows and stuff and the subscriptions on YouTube are free. So please feel free to do that if you like to keep up with my work. I'm bad at photos, but I try and keep up with projects. I'm about a year behind. And if you're not already following us here at Play Weird, please feel free to click that little heart button down below and drop us a follow because follows are free. Don't cost you nothing, and you'll be a lot cooler if you do. Okay. Now this is a flat blue, and we're going to come in and almost do the whole area we just did, but we're just going to leave a little bit of the bottom undone. All right, Z, thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate it. And for all you others that hung out and talked or lurked, I appreciate it as well. And we hope to see you again next week, beginning with Doug and culminating with me at 3 p.m. next Thursday. And I think that's going to do it for now. I don't think I can get another line in before time is up. Again, thank you for hanging out. We got a little work done on our orangutan. He's very close to being finished. Some wash and some edge highlights, and he'll be done. And we did do our chicken, our little bok. So we got some work done today. So, and we got the freaking stuttering frame thing again. But anyways, thank you guys for hanging out. We'll see you next week. Until then, hobby on, stay weird.